Hi everybody, it's Cash. Welcome back. Thank you very much for joining me. Today I want to show you what happened while I was in France recently and tested the energy of a 16th century chateau, the Chateau Chenonceau. An absolutely beautiful, sprawling, elegant place. And I think the second most visited palace in France after Versailles. Oh, incidentally, I also went to Amboise, a town where Leonardo da Vinci spent his final days and where he died. I tested the energy of his bedroom, where he is supposed to have died, and also his crypt. And I will put that in the next video. But for now, I wanted to focus on the Chateau de Chenonceau in the Loire Valley. It sits on the river Cher. In actual fact, it spans the river. The whole building has a bridge built into it, and it goes from one side to the other. Many, many people have owned and lived in this building over the years, including King Henry II of France, and after he died, his widow, Queen Catherine de' Medici. I mean, not everything in the palace is an original. For example, these stained glass windows were blown out by a bomb during World War II and had to be replaced. But this is an original. This is the front door to the chateau, and it's 500 years old. And as you walk around, there are many, many things dating back centuries. The decor is sumptuous, although between you and me, some of the furniture pieces are quite ugly. I tested the energy of one. Look at this.
When I touch this piece, the furniture piece, I just get little rings wrapped around my fingers. As ugly as it is, it really is ugly. It was supposed to appeal to the eye because of the different sculptures on it, but it's very much like a, ooh, look at me, feel me, touch me, and all the Tommy stuff. The intention behind it was to draw you in, tantalize, lure you into liking it and understanding it and so on.
And I'm sure whoever built that thing was very proud of themselves. Luckily, furniture aside, the rest of the place was absolutely beautiful.
I thought we could test the original walls of the Chateau de Chenonceau, or whatever it's called, Chenonceau. There you go, touching this. This feels like it has an energy to it, a reverberation, almost a light to it, but it's a sheen. It's not coming out of it or pouring out of it or grabbing my hand the way some of the cathedrals have. It just feels like a vault of memories, but memories that are translated into light or vibration. It comes out about here of energy and light and vibration. I know there have been wars and the Germans were here and there's all sorts of different things going on, but this feels like a very positive space, a very positive vibe. I don't get anything negative from it at all, which is surprising. During World War II, the Germans used this as the border between the part that they ran and the French part, or something like that, something very important historically. And so the Nazis would be crossing this bridge, and there'd be a lot of commotion here, a lot of official stuff going on, and I don't get anything. Let me just see. This is a different part of it, by the way. I've moved on along this bridge, which is it's like a bridge over the water. I've moved on a little now. Let's just see what comes. I feel like a strap, a thick metal strap over my hand now, holding it in place. Yeah, there is something here. Maybe once you were here, you couldn't get out of here. Maybe once you reached this point, they held you here. The Germans, the French, I don't know.
something went on here that meant that you couldn't go any further, or you were stuck in this little space here until something happened. Maybe you got a permit or something, or you were held prisoner for a time or something. I don't know what, but yeah, there's a strap over my hand here. But otherwise, no, I don't get any dark energy here, which is very strange given what went on during World War II. I've left the group. There's a group going around that I'm with, and I just don't have the power of retention when it comes to facts. You can tell me 1,000 facts and I'll forget them individually as you're telling them to me. So these tours for me are a complete waste of time. However, the gist of all these tours is that a lot of people over many centuries fought a lot, argued a lot, accumulated money for practically no reason, and enjoyed their rich life, but they were forever locked in ego. They're forever battling each other for territory and for dominance and for profit and whatever. Who could build a bigger house? Who could control which territory? And so that's what you learn from these places. And what's weird about it is that you get a sense now that you're walking around their territory and looking at the profits and the money and the furniture and the houses and everything that they accumulated, that it was all a waste of time. I mean, it's beautiful. It's absolutely stunning. Look at that. That's phenomenal. But actually, why didn't they just enjoy their life? They didn't. There are so many chateaux in this area, 600 or something in the Loire. I don't know how many it is. It's just a huge number. If it were me, obviously I would never own a house like this because I would never have that kind of competitive instinct to win and be the best and to battle all the time. But it just seems like they accumulate all this, they get it all, they have the most beautiful possessions and properties, and for what? They don't get to enjoy it. A, because they're constantly fighting, and B, because they're dead now. There's something about this house that's not quite what it seems. Maybe the number of tourists who go through it, and it is thousands and thousands per month. This is the most visited chateau in the whole of France. Chenonceau. Oh yeah. This is the most visited in all of France. And maybe because of the sheer number of tourists going through, it's that energy that's taken over the place. There is no corner, no crevice that the tourists haven't gone in and imposed their energy on it, which makes it harder and harder for me to take energy from it and see what was really going on. But there is actually over here a fountain. And I thought we could go and look at the fountain. I'd test the energy of a fountain. I've never done that. Okay, let's touch the water and the energy and so on, and let's just see if anything comes. Hang on a minute. Oh, that is like sonar. You know sonar where the waves of sound go out, one after the other in equal amounts? It's a bit like that. It has that kind of feeling to it, of silence. But that's peculiar, right? That they switched it off for the first time ever, just as I'm walking by. But it had waves of energy, water energy or whatever, that were blasting past me and going out into the earth. So this is actually a very, very good thing to have in the grounds. Maybe it's a kind of feng shui thing, but it's a very good thing to have in the grounds because it's not only ornamental, it is sending waves of energy out across the gardens here. There they are, and helping all the flowers grow by virtue of the energy of the water, not necessarily the properties of the water. Isn't that interesting? But even more interesting that they turned it off just as I was walking by, and it's been on all morning. Point of interest: the moment I left, they switched it back on again. There it is. These people don't like me at all, do they? Well, anyway, if you're ever in the Loire Valley, I do recommend a visit to Chateau Chenonceau. You'll be surrounded by thousands of visitors when you do, but seriously, it's absolutely worth it. And from there, I went to the home at the end of his life of Leonardo da Vinci, and I will return to the energy of his house and also of his crypt later. But something occurred to me while I was there. This is where I really should listen to the tour guides, because the tour guide explained apparently what was going on with that bridge thing. Originally there was a bridge, just a plain old bridge, and that led to a part of France on the other side of the river that the Nazis didn't want people to go to, apparently during World War II. Now, at some point in the history of this, the bridge is still there apparently, but at some point in the history of this chateau, the woman who owned it built a ballroom on top of the bridge. And in that ballroom, and that's the area I was sitting in, there was lots of fun and dancing and music and gaiety and whatever else goes on in ballrooms. And that's why it felt positive and joyous. And I thought it had just been paved over or renovated beyond belief, or that so many tourists had gone through that it couldn't possibly have any authentic energy anymore. It was absorbing their energy. Turns out that it was a ballroom built over the bridge, and that's why the energy of the walls was exuding joy and life and fun and so on. So that lays that mystery to rest. And I'm so glad, because I was really, really confused. You know, it's really interesting though. I was in that place, and remember I touched the furniture, and I said that when I felt that, even, I don't know what it was just a huge slab of furniture, I felt that the person who sculpted it was actually proud and thought it was a beautiful piece of furniture, even though it's hideous. Well, while I was touching it, the tannoy went off in the room, the speakers went off, saying, "Please don't touch the furniture," in French and in English. And I finally got to learning that it was actually aimed at me. They were telling me to stop touching the furniture. They have cameras everywhere, and maybe I'd annoyed them by touching the furniture, and they saw me by the fountain and switched it off. Pesky French. I'm currently in a place called Amboise, which has this castle thing, and this afternoon we're going to have a tour of it, and I will listen to what the guide says. See you soon. Bye bye.